Hi everyone! Thanks so much for coming to watch this video. I'm going to show you how to make 4 super cool things out of Skittles. First thing I'm going to make is an edible Eos treat. I have about 20 to 30 red Skittles here that I'm going to melt and then put in my Eos container. If you haven't heard of Eos, make sure you check out my other videos. This was a lip balm and now it's just the container. You cannot just buy the container alone. For all those people wondering, you have to buy the lip balm first, okay? So you have your container, it's 3 parts. We work with the lid, you guys, so you're going to use the lid to create that sort of egg shape. We're going to melt the Skittles, we're going to put it in there, and then you screw on the middle piece. In order for the Skittles to come out smoothly, you're going to spray it with some oil. So I'm just using some cooking spray here and generously coating the lid. So I'm going to melt that for maybe 20-25 seconds. Make sure you obviously keep an eye on it so it doesn't burn. So you just want to get it soft enough. You don't actually want to melt it or cook it or anything crazy like that. You just want to make sure it's soft enough that if you push on it, and you should be able to still touch it sometimes if you don't heat it up too much, it just sort of pushes and oozes into a little flat Skittle. So that's the point that you want, and then you just want to stir it together until it becomes like this, a little bit of a mush, so that you can put it into your Eos container and actually form it into the lid shape. So here you just want to make sure that you really smush it down so that there's no holes or cracks or anything like that when you reveal your Eos treat. So, just keep smushing it. By this point you should be able to use your fingers as it probably has cooled down quite a bit. So just smush it in there, and it does slip out pretty easily if you guys want to check the shape of it to see if you're happy with how it looks. So you can do that, and then once you have the sort of lid part done, you can screw on the middle, and then just keep pushing this stuff straight through until you have completed the process of filling up your Eos with delicious edible Skittles. Then you will put it in the fridge, and you can just sort of rest it in the bottom of the Eos container here, and it hardens quite quickly. So this is afterwards, and you just snap on the bottom and carefully screw off the lid in case it's stuck or whatever, and here you have your super cool, super smooth, that's my favorite part, Eos edible treat. The cool thing about this is that once you melt the Skittles and sort of stir it together, it really does become a hard sort of lollipop treat. So you can suck on it like a lollipop and then put the lid back on if you want to save it for later, or obviously if it's warm enough you can still take a bite as well. I'm now going to show you how to make a Skittles iPhone. Grab yourself a case, and of course this doesn't have to be an iPhone, it can be any phone, so make sure that you guys wash this really well prior to coating it with oil, just like the Eos container, so we don't want our candy to stick, right? I am going to do a rainbow theme, so I've already microwaved my, I think this is about 15-20 red Skittles, and see how I'm just showing you how you can just sort of like pop them, so it's not so hot that I can't touch them, but just soft enough so that I can smush them and mush them into whatever shape I want them to be. So I'm just going to scoop these up, and I'm going to start by turning my boring old case into an edible Skittles iPhone. Okay, so once you've crushed up the shells and you're happy with how this is feeling, you can just sort of pick it up and start mushing it around. Obviously make sure that you guys wash your hands prior to doing this. And you're just going to go ahead and stick it into your iPhone case. And I've made a lot of these, you guys. If you haven't checked out our channel before, my most recent iPhone case one was gummy iPhones, which is super cool. But the easy part about Skittles, you guys, is that it doesn't ooze through the hole. So this is a super quick and easy little fun thing to do. And the result is pretty neat as well. Alright, moving on to the next color in the rainbow, which is orange. And then obviously I'm going to do yellow, green, blue, and purple, and then pink at the end. And finally, our last color. So when getting to the camera part, you guys want to make sure that your candy doesn't overlap on the outside, or else when you go to pop it out, it's going to catch and it might break. I didn't even put this in the fridge. I just let it lay out for a couple of hours until I felt like it was hard enough. And the good thing about that is that it doesn't get too hard. If you do put it in the fridge, that's fine. Just make sure that you let it come back to room temperature so that when you go to pull it out of your case, it doesn't snap. My case already has 2 little slits on the corners from making previous iPhones. So depending on the case that you have, you might not even to do that. You might not need to do that. But my case is quite hard, so I had to, take a little X-Acto knife, unfortunately, and make little slits. So far, I'm really happy with this. It's super colorful, and of course, it's going to be delicious. So we're going to put a screen on this, and I'm going to use cake fondant, which I have realized is the best stuff ever. So again, I've made a lot of iPhones if you want to check out our channel, and I used to use sugar paper, which actually cracks and hardens quite easily. So I've moved on to cake fondant, which I'm way happier with, and it's easier to stick on, and it's just, I don't know, it's just so much better. Sometimes I take edible markers and draw on apps as well. I chose not to do that for this because I like the simplicity of this look. If you want to see what it looks like when I do draw apps on, you can check out our channel, like I've said before, and check out the other iPhones that I've made. Alright, moving right along to one of my personal favorites, which is the syringe pen. I got these syringes at Party City, so they are meant for food and drinks and stuff like that. And you're going to want to grab yourself one of these pens as well, and you can get these at Party City too. So these pens are super cool because there's so many different colors, obviously, but the best part is that these pens are already super teeny tiny and they fit really easily into the syringe. I already snapped off, there's like another little extra tip that you can just sort of break off there, and I already snapped that off so that the pen slides right in there. It's super easy, and look at that, you already have a pen. Awesome. And then you're just going to take some of your Skittles, and you can do obviously whatever pattern you want or no pattern at all, and you can just have Skittles always on hand in a pen. And that's it, just like that, you have a pen that's full of candy. And if you don't want this massive piece of plastic hanging off the end, you can just take off the little rubber plug and just snap it in there, and then you have a syringe pen that probably will actually fit in your pencil case. So there you go. Okay, moving on to my last Skittles hack, which is the Push Pop. I got these cute heart-shaped push pops off Amazon, and they came in a bag of about 30 or 40, I don't know, it was a lot, and they're super good, you guys. So I'm just going to spray this like all my other ones with oil so that the candy slides in and out, especially when I go to push it. I'm going to start with red this time. I used about 25 Skittles per color. And super easy, so you microwave it. It takes about 20 seconds, you guys, and then I'm using the stick or the handle of another push pop to smush it in there, which is super handy, especially if your candy ends up being a little bit hotter than you planned. So you don't even have to touch it, you can just scoop it out of the bowl and then use one of these sticks, and it really helps compact the whole thing. So just smush, smush, smush it in there, and then just carry on through each color. Okay, all colors are in there, and here we have our push pops. So the cool thing about these, you guys, is that they do come with lids so your candy doesn't dry out. Again, this doesn't even need to go in the fridge. You can just let it sit for a bit to harden, and then you have a delicious push pop that will last you a very, very long time. Well, that's it for this video, everyone. So thanks so much for watching, and be sure to comment which one was your favorite, or maybe they were all your favorite. Either way, thanks so much for watching, everyone.